Novelist Anthony Horowitz earlier this week suggested that fan favorite Idris Elba might be too street to play James Bond. Of course, Horowitz later apologized for this, but let's talk about who is James Bond and can he be street?
That's interesting. I mean, when you look at the different portrayals of James Bond over the years by different actors, they are kind of all over the map in terms of, like, some are super suave, like Roger Moore
and Timothy Dalton do seem, you know, describably upper class, but then we have kind of unclear examples such as Pierce Brosnan and George Lazenby. Yeah. And then we have two that seemed more like they may have come from a working class background.
Oh yeah, Daniel Craig, hands down.
Definitely Daniel Craig.
He's like, he comes off not as a super suave agent, but he's kind of like a brawler.
He's rough.
He's rough.
He was, you know, I was a little bit confused by that choice initially.
Yeah.
Because I was used to more, you know, smooth, debonair types, but he's certainly a different take on the role, and not necessarily a wrong take. I mean, looking back into Ian Fleming's novels, James Bond had kind of a diversified background growing up. He traveled abroad a lot. He wasn't necessarily this, you know, upper class, upper street man. He was a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing about that comment is when I think about Idris Elba, I think about a super smooth guy.
He's smooth.
Like, more smooth than most of the other choices out there.
He's charming. Yeah. I mean, I think different TV shows have joked about how attractive and charming he is without even trying.
I am aware of the effect I have on women.
But he does not come off as, I guess, street. If you don't take that as coded racism and take it as being, you know, lower class, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I can't really see where that's coming from. But I think when you think about taking iconic characters like James Bond or the Doctor from Doctor Who, people get a little bit worried. Like, they like a little bit of change, but not drastic change. And so, you know, when you talk about taking the Doctor and having the next incarnation of the Doctor be female, people get all up in arms.
I mean, the Doctor regenerates. Doctor is not like Mr. It's a term that could be applied to any gender. Yeah.
But yeah, in the past 50 some odd years, there have been no female doctors. So, but I know Haley Atwell just recently said that she would like to play the Doctor. I think that'd be an awesome
That would be awesome. And then I keep saying Tilda Swinton, along with a lot of the world, because I just love Tilda Swinton and I want to see her do that. A lot of people have been calling for Tom Hardy to take over the role of James Bond after Daniel Craig leaves. You know, Tom Hardy for everything is what I say, but I don't know, maybe not for this. I mean, it could work.
Could work. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about Tom Hardy. But yeah, I think that, you know, if Idris Elba is a choice, he'd be a really interesting choice. And I'd love to see how he takes that character, in what direction he takes the character.
Yeah, and it's, you know, you have to think about a contemporary Bond versus, you know, a classic Bond, or what people might think of Bond in their heads. And it's you know, things change, and fiction reflects a different environment a lot of the time. And I think this one might certainly follow in that as well. And then we have, you know, movies like Kingsman, The Secret Service, you know, and that movie distinctly had a street kid transform into the role of this super badass secret agent.
Yeah, yeah. And literally, I think they plucked him off the street.
He was a lad.
He was a lad who was in trouble, kind of like La Femme Nikita. That was another one where they took some, you know, a youth that was not, you know, not secret agent material, but who had this troubled background, took them and transformed them into a super spy.
So I don't really know if James Bond necessarily needs to be a certain class, a certain level, if we look at other people. And then, you know, I'm doing this again, assuming this is not coded racism. So we're talking about class only. Is there a version of James Bond that is the James Bond, and what is it? Should he always follow that? Should he always be a he? Oh, let us know below in the comments, and please subscribe for more.